it finally feels like a heat wave, y'all. And it's not that hot. But I'm so glad that the weather is breaking. We're seeing a little bit more sun. And I feel like finally we're coming out of this cold wave, this cold, the tundra. That's how it feels to me. You know, when you're in a place where when you live somewhere where it's really, really warm most of the time, and then you move somewhere where it feels like, oh my God, where is this cold weather coming from? Your butt freezes. I'm going to tell you, I have been freezing like it's nobody's business in this cold weather here. And the other thing is, now that things are starting to bloom, if you hear me, I'm so congested because I'm like, I can't breathe. I just can't breathe. And all the blooming stuff, the trees, the pine trees, all kinds of stuff, is just causing me to be so stuffed up, and just stopped up. I just feel like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Thank God for Benadryl. That's all I can say. Because one night I was just like, I don't know what else to do, but thank God for Benadryl. And so I'm just here just to talk about life. Life is so good. You know, the thing about life is when you really, really are free and you feel like, hey, everything is good, you get to see how enjoyable life can be. Instead of being so worried about people and things and what if this person does this and what if that person does that and da da. You know, when you really get to the point where you are free of the things that used to bug the mess out of you and hold you back and cause you to worry, and you're stressed about other people and what they're doing and what they're saying, life is good because you know that life is really what you make it, and whatever you come up with is what your life can be. And I could tell you stories about this over and over and over about how great life is. And if you have paid attention, you've been tracking me, you've been following me for a little bit of time, you've seen some examples of this. Last year I went to Dubai, which is something that I never would have thought of going to the Middle East. As a matter of fact, I have a friend who used to say to me, I would never vacation in the Middle East. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then I had a chance to go. And I can tell you that while it was not, you do hear about the abuse, the way that the culture treats women, and you hear about other things that are not the absolute best. Being there was one of the most exciting things for me that happened in my life most recently. Just being in Dubai, having that experience, because it caused me to look at the world differently. Not just looking at me and my life from a different perspective, but just having an expanded worldview, which has helped me in so many other ways. Because when I think about what's possible for me and my business and my life, I have it's a more expanded perspective of that. And so I'm grateful for having had that trip to go to Dubai. And I could just talk to you about the businesses that I'm running. I love what I do. I really love what I do. I'm a consultant. I've been a consultant for a long, 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 long time, since 2002. I'm approaching my 20th year of being in business, you know, supporting my life through the business that I run. And it's been great. My last few projects have been so interesting. I've worked with a major retailer and developing their online training course for their vendors, for people who want to be vendors with them. It's been a wonderful experience. I did a project, an e-learning development project for a company that actually sells eyeglasses and contacts. I guarantee you know who they are. And just placed a bid, and my company, as well as some other people I've partnered with, are finalists for a project on digital learning. And so in digital learning and higher education. And so I'm excited. Things are really changing in terms of what I see for my life and what I see for the life of my business as a consultant. And I'm really interested in looking at more opportunities in that space, because I think that it's important that with these skills and the background, especially in technology, I'm a heavy duty technologist. When people are coming to me for questions, they usually are asking me about technology. And it's, Tanya, how do you do this? Tanya, I need this set up. I need this to be done. I know it was a running joke among all my friends at one point that with all of their internet, like through their services, they're like, well, how did you get this set up? They're like, Tanya did it. Tanya did it. All my friends were like, Tanya went and set my stuff up because I'm a technologist in my mother's house, everyone, so it's just like one of those things that I do. And so that's been fun. It's been fun. And it's also been fun, like really, really fine tuning even the work that I do in that space, because I want to expand and do more work that's related to supporting different markets and different customers, particularly around causes, because I think they're very important and they need a level of expertise that I know that my company can bring. My company, my team can actually bring to that. And then, of course, I'm doing the coaching, which is where you're seeing me now with Courageously Alive. And what I do is I talk about difficult topics, things that people struggle with, particularly people who've experienced trauma, drama, and tragedy. And it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about the fact that you have had these experiences, nor is it easy to talk about what they are and how they have impacted your life, and even in some cases how they're still impacting your life. Because most of us want people to understand and see us as powerful people, as strong people, as people who kind of control our own destiny. And we do. I mean, no matter what your experience is or has been, you still control your own destiny. But what I can say about it is a lot of times we live with that in a particular kind of way. And we don't always want people to know about the places where we're struggling, or the places where we don't feel as strong, or the places where we feel that we're still emotional, or there's some vulnerability around certain relationships that we have, or we've had, or we've been in, or the experiences that we've had that have been less than stellar. They've been painful, they've been difficult. We've had to sit with dealing with the impact of it. And I say impact a lot, but dealing with the residual, I would say the residual effects of those experiences, and really not knowing how to integrate those experiences into the rest of our lives, because they've been so difficult in some cases, so traumatic that it's like I don't want anyone to know. There's a level of shame around certain things that people have experienced. And it's understandable, but it doesn't mean that it has to direct everything that, it has to control your life. I know I've worked for years with women who've experienced sexual abuse. And, that is one of those things that has been hard. It's just been hard. It's hard to look at that experience and not feel objectified. It's hard to have been in that experience and not feel objectified, or to not have the experience of shame surrounding that. It's hard for women in particular. I know men deal with this too, but when you've had the experience of having a mother and your relationship with your mother is toxic or it's dysfunctional, those things are challenging. And for people who are dealing with those experiences, it causes a lot of residual feelings, emotions that you're continuously carrying. And I know that unless and until you decide to work through those feelings and move so that they no longer control you, those are the things that really dictate how your life winds up. And for those of us who are ambitious, because I've had some of those experiences too, which is why I talk about it, because I've been able to navigate my way through it. And I'm a perfect person to help people walk their way through it, because I've been through it. And I've come out on the other side of it, and I can talk to you about what it looks like. And if you're one of those people who's had those experiences and you're ambitious, often we don't, and you've had the experience, you're ambitious, and you're trying to hold those feelings down. What you don't realize is the amount of energy it takes to keep those feelings subdued or submerged. Because the level of energy that it takes to keep them like tamped down, hid back in the corner, it takes so much energy and effort that if you brought it to the forefront, you looked at it, you exposed it, you did what you needed to do to resolve it, to heal it, you don't have to spend that energy in that space anymore. And then you can take that energy that you were using to submerge those feelings and really elevate and move it to whatever that ambition is that you have for your life. And that's the second thing that I work on. And the third thing, for those of you who know me, you've known me for years, you know that I'm a designer. I'm an accessories designer. I design handbags. I design jewelry. I design, you know, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, the whole 9 yards. That is like my sweet spot. And so those are the things, that's why I'm so excited about my life, because I have the opportunity to really, really step into all areas of my life and feel comfortable there and really know that, you know, I can do the darn thing. And I'm excited about it. And I'm excited about where it takes me. I'm excited about what's coming next in my life, because I know that, you know, the more I do, the more I allow myself to experience the good things in life, and I know to expect and to have intention around good things, then I know that, you know, what I set my mind to and what my intentions are have the possibility and have the opportunity to show up in my life. And so for those of you who are interested in seeing what it looks like, what it feels like to really operate in a space of freeing energy, I mean, really having the freedom to live your life without navigating those emotions that can be an undercurrent, but they wind up really, really slowing us down. And if you're really trying to do something serious, significant in your life, and significant is different for everyone. So what I think of as significant can be different than what you think of as significant. But if it's significant for you, then it's significant and it's meaningful. And if you really are in that space where you're trying to move to something significant and you want to see what can I release so that I can have what I say I want, then I want you to reach out and talk to me about that. Register for releasing the weights, and I talk about releasing emotional weights in your life and in your business. Or you can send me a DM, ask me about it, ask me whatever question you want. You can schedule a discovery call. I accept all of it, because this is the space. This is really where I am when it comes to life coaching. I talk about mindset, but I also talk about healing a lot, because those are the things that allow those of us who are ambitious to move forward and to get to the space where we can really operate comfortably in the new zone, in our new zone of excellence, effectively. All right? So if you're interested, reach out. In the meantime, have a great day. I hope you're not as impacted by this weather as I am, so you don't sound stuffy, you're not congested. That's been tough. That's just been tough for me.